At Comics and Comics, we have a segment where we, meaning me, like to give an opinion about something, and if you've ever read any fanboy post on any message board anywhere, you understand why we call this segment, But Let's Face It. In the animal kingdom, geeks have many natural predators. There are the Flash Thompsons of the world, guys who love nothing more than to do things like tease kids whose only crime is loving anime. The actions of these bullies would be pathetic if the coolest and hottest girls weren't so gosh darned impressed by them. These are the guys who go on to join fraternities and then have jobs where their hotshot talents enable them to get rich by beating the system. And although these guys generally do very well for themselves, in this economy I have to ask them, how's that working out for you? Then there are the girls. They don't tease geeks as much, but they do far worse by treating geeks as if they are as invisible as Sue Storm. Perhaps it might be easier for geeks to approach these girls if it weren't so utterly certain that they have no taste for what is good in the world. I suppose geeks can take some solace in knowing that these people grow up to be god-awful bores as adults. When I hear the enemies of geeks at parties talking about current events and politics, I can't help but wonder who they are trying to convince that they have grown up. It is a bit pathetic. Sitting around and talking about comic books and movies is not only cooler than talking about politics, it is more important. It is also important to be brutally honest here. The enemies of geeks are winning the war. But let's face it, geeks are their own worst enemies. Geeks have no tact. If you're at a party and actually talking to some Heather Graham lookalike who says, gee, I don't know, I didn't think the Matrix sequels were that awful, could you please just shut the hell up for 2 seconds? Launching into a 4-minute tirade about the shortcomings of Zion doesn't do anyone any good. Could you please just take one for the team and not decimate the possibility of this girl jumping into bed with you? Of course you can't. And that's because there's no team in geek. Geeks would rather fight each other in message board death matches over expanded universe continuity than retaliate against their natural foes. I mean, are you telling me that we can all beat the final boss in Ninja Gaiden, but are winless against the low-rent Billy Zabkas of the world? Something's wrong. I've grokked this, and I think that the real problem is that too many geeks sorely lack ambition. We've been conditioned by Harry Potter, the X-Men, and the Matrix to believe that we are all already secretly super-duper great. That if we sit back, Xavier, Morpheus, or Hagrid are going to swoop in and reveal to the world just how wonderful and special we secretly are. In the words of the Simpsons version of Paul Newman to the Simpsons version of Robert Redford, it ain't gonna happen. Geeks need to learn that they have to do more than live under the rays of a yellow sun in order to be super. You are not Kal-El. You are Bruce Wayne, and the bat shark repellent isn't going to invent itself. Geeks need to learn that power is within their grasp, but only through action. The fanboy erudition you have accumulated is not pyrite. Your relentless intolerance for things that suck is worth something. In fact, it's worth a lot, and it is something that the rest of the world sorely lacks. Put it to use. And no, although it was very good, your Airwolf fanfiction doesn't count. I can hardly blame the girls who didn't choose a guy who is content to download back-issue scans in his parents' basement for the rest of his life. If that is the path that you decide to take, you will get no tears from me. A geek with ambition is mightier than a Jedi Knight. He has hit points in 3 digits, and he rolls at +6. Geeks do not need to get a life. They need to get a plan. If you do, You will crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. Because, let's face it, the world doesn't stand a chance against you.